How's it going, Internet? I'm WavePunk, and this is eSports Thursdays. So I've been thinking there are two big ways that a competitive scene tries to figure out who is the best in their scene. There's leagues and there's tournaments. These are the two ways that we humans have kind of decided are the best ways to narrow down a large pool of contestants and figure out which one is the best. We're going to spend a few videos talking about leagues versus tournaments and what advantages one provides over the other and why you might pick one in one situation and another in another situation for whatever it is you're trying to run at the time. And today we're going to start with leagues. We're going to talk about why I think leagues are in many ways a better system for determining a victor than a tournament is. I think it's good to start with a basic definition of where I'm coming from when I say league or when I say tournament. A tournament is a set of teams who play each other in pairs, and the winners of which go on to continue to play each other. The losers are eliminated until there's eventually only two teams who play each other for the title of champion. Whereas a league differentiates itself by having all the teams in that set play each other until every team has played every other team, and a winner is declared based on who won the most. And many leagues have some sort of conference or division system that kind of makes that definition a little bit more complicated, but we'll get to that in a future video. For now, this definition will do. But for this video, I want to talk about leagues in terms of the longevity of a sport and how a league really does benefit a sport more than just a series of tournaments does. The first big thing that a league does for a competitive scene is it gives teams an opportunity to consistently perform and to build a fan base. One of the problems with tournaments is that the only teams that really build a fan base are the teams that win a lot, because the teams that win a lot are the teams that you see perform throughout the tournament. The small teams that you play at the beginning, the small teams that you need to fill up a bracket, don't get broadcasted and don't get seen, and they get so little attention that they never build up a fan base if all you have is tournaments. When all you have is tournaments, those teams that get beat every time don't get to compete against the top level guys enough to improve, and they get knocked out so early that nobody knows who they are, so they don't really have much of a drive to keep on going, especially when they're not winning any money for getting knocked out in round number one. But many times a league will give teams money just for playing in matches, which gives them an incentive to play, gives them opportunities to build a fan base, and gives them experience playing against the teams that they need to eventually beat, all of which just pushes the scene forward and makes that competitive scene better. In addition to helping build a fan base for specific teams, it helps build a fan base for the scene as a whole. Tournaments are by nature unpredictable. You don't know what teams are going to be playing what teams, except for in the first round, and then all the rest of it, you have no idea what's going to happen. Whereas in a league, you can program out who's going to be playing who in what week. College football is a great example of a fully realized league system in action. If I wanted to, I could look up schedules and tell you when and where every game is going to happen in 2018 for college football, and they have 128 teams. So remember what I said about leagues helping teams create fan bases? If I am a fan of a specific team and all I care about is cheering for that particular team, in a league system, I can see exactly when they're going to be playing this season, and I can program out my week and my schedule and make time to watch those people play, and that just helps build the scene overall as I become a stronger fan, draw more people in, and everything improves because of it. The last big reason that I think that leagues are great is that I feel like in general, they're in many ways better at determining who is actually the best team than a tournament is. This starts to delve into the minutia of what is it that actually makes a team the best, but with a league, when you have every team playing every other team, and one team comes out clearly having won more than every other team, it's a pretty satisfying feeling. You feel like you've been given someone who is clearly better than everybody else. It gets complicated when you have to go into tiebreakers, and yes, that situation can be frustrating. We'll probably talk about those more in future videos, but it still feels better than watching teams all play each other at the beginning, and then half the teams are basically eliminated immediately, and you gotta wonder, that one team that lost the heartbreaker to the team that just lost in the finals, couldn't they have possibly made it all the way if they hadn't lost that first game? You never know. And leagues generally have less kind of, were they feeling good that day? You don't know. That was not important because it's all about consistency over the course of a season. But there's one big downside to leagues, and that's that everybody wants to watch the big game, the game that determines who is the champion for that season. And when what determines the champion is who has the best win-loss record at the end of the season, there's a really decent chance that the big game that put Team A over Team B happened somewhere in the middle of the season, and we didn't even realize it was going to be as important as it was until we were all done. So while it's better for the scene as a whole, and while it's better for determining who is better than who, it's not as fun of a story to tell. And that's why tournaments stick around, and why in most systems you see kind of a hybrid where you have league play and then the top teams go on to play a playoff. But that's a topic for another video. I'll be getting into a bunch of different things about leagues versus tournaments. I think the next video I'm going to make is about divisions and conferences and how they sound great on paper, but actually just really can confuse things very, very quickly. But anyways, I'm not going to make the video any longer than it needs to be. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTuber stuff. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.